I never thought my own family would ever look at me like a backup plan, like I was something they could use, discard, and then pretend I never had feelings at all. But that's exactly what happened the day they told me I wasn't a daughter anymore. I was a solution. And the worst part? They smiled while saying it. Before I tell you what happened on page 4, you need to understand how it even started. It began when my older sister Mira got married. She was always the golden child, the pretty one, the one everyone admired. I was the quiet one, the one who listened more than she spoke. I never complained because I thought that's just how families work. Some shine brighter, some stay in the background. But after her marriage, everything changed. Mira struggled to conceive. At first, it was sympathy. Then, concern. Then, obsession. Every family gathering turned into whispered conversations about her condition. Doctors, treatments, prayers, nothing worked. And slowly, without anyone saying it directly, the pressure started shifting, not onto her, onto me. I remember the first time my mother brought it up. It was during dinner. She didn't even look at me properly, just casually stirring her tea like she was discussing the weather. You know, she said, you and Mira share the same blood, same body type. It would be perfect. I laughed nervously. Perfect for what? That's when my father finally looked up and said the words that still echo in my head. If you carry her child, our family problem will be solved. I swear, for a moment I thought I misheard him. I blinked. Excuse me? Mira didn't even look embarrassed. She just smiled softly, like she was asking me to borrow a dress. It's just a surrogate pregnancy. You'd be helping me. Helping the family. Helping. That word again. Like I owed them my body. Like I was born to fix their problems. I refused immediately. Of course I did. I told them it was insane, that I had my own life, my own future. I expected anger, maybe disappointment, but instead, they laughed. My mother actually laughed and said, "Don't be dramatic. Family helps family." That night I thought it ended there. I was wrong. Over the next few weeks, the pressure became constant. My phone would ring at odd hours. My relatives started casually mentioning how selfish I was. My aunt even told me I was lucky they chose me because not every girl gets to do something meaningful for her sister. Meaningful? They weren't asking anymore. They were building a case against me, and that's when I decided something changed forever. I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I didn't go back into that house. I walked straight out the next morning. And I took page 4 with me. What happened after that, no one in my family expected. Because they thought I would break. They thought I would come back begging. Instead, I went to someone they never considered. A lawyer. Not just any lawyer, a family law specialist who understood everything I showed him within minutes. When he saw page 4, he went silent. Then he said, "They've already documented intent. This isn't just unethical. This is legally dangerous." For the first time, I didn't feel small. I felt armed. Because I wasn't just walking away from pressure anymore. I was stepping into something they had no control over. The days that followed were chaos. My mother called me nonstop. First angry, then crying, then pleading. My father sent messages saying I was destroying the family. Mira, she sent one voice note. I still remember it. "You're overreacting. We just needed help. You're making us look bad." That was it. No apology, just blame. But what they didn't know was that page 4 wasn't just evidence. It was leverage, because it exposed intentions that went far beyond surrogacy pressure. It showed financial manipulation, coercion patterns, an intent to bind me into dependency agreements without informed consent. And once that was officially reviewed, everything started shifting. quietly, legally, cleanly. I didn't need to shout. I didn't need revenge in the way they thought. Because sometimes revenge isn't destruction. Sometimes it's exposure. It's letting truth do what lies can't survive. Weeks later, I got the final message from my lawyer. They've withdrawn everything. Entire arrangement dissolved. They won't pursue you again. That should have felt like relief. But it didn't. Because I still remembered the look in their eyes when they thought I was cornered. That's what hurt the most, not the betrayal, but how easily they justified it. Now I live in a different city, new job, new life. No one asks me to help the family anymore. But sometimes, late at night, I still think about that table, that folder, that page 4. Because it changed everything. It showed me something I'll never forget. Family isn't about blood. It's about respect. And the moment respect disappears, so does obligation. And if they ever thought I would stay silent again, they already learned what happens when silence ends. That's when something inside me shifted. Because I finally understood. They didn't see me as a person anymore. I was a resource, a walking solution. And if I refused, I was a problem. I stood up slowly. I need air. No one stopped me. They probably thought I'd calm down and come back. But I didn't. That night, I didn't sleep. I just kept thinking, how did I become this disposable in my own home? And then I found something. Page 4. It wasn't even supposed to be important. It was a loose page inside the folder my father had left behind when he thought I stormed out. At first, I thought it was just medical paperwork, but it wasn't. It was something else entirely. It was a legal transfer document tied to property assets, bank holdings, insurance policies. And my name was on none of it, but Mira's husband's name was everywhere. That's when I realized what this was really about. It was never just about a child. It was about control, inheritance, power. They weren't just asking me to carry a baby. They were trying to bind me into a system where I had no rights, no claims, no protection, just obligation. And I wasn't the beneficiary of any of it. I was the tool. My hands were shaking when I read the final note on page 4. A handwritten clause from my father. If she agrees, ensure full dependency is established before legal distribution. Dependency. That word. That was the moment everything inside me went quiet. Because suddenly, I wasn't hurt anymore. I was awake. They didn't just want my body. They wanted my existence erased from every benefit of the family, while still using me as their solution. And Mira, she stopped being my sister in those moments. She became someone else entirely. She would sit beside me, hold my hand, and whisper things like, "You don't even need to go through pregnancy alone. We'll take care of everything. You just have to give your body for a few months. Give my body." Like it wasn't mine. That's when I started feeling trapped. But things escalated on the night everything broke. They called it a family meeting. I walked into the living room and immediately felt it. The air was heavy, like something already decided was waiting for me. My father was sitting in the center, my mother next to him, Mira across from them. Even her husband was there. And then I saw the folder on the table, my name written on it. That's when I realized this wasn't a discussion. It was a setup. My father slid the folder toward me. "We've arranged everything. I didn't touch it. I already said no." Mira sighed like I was exhausting her. "You're being emotional. This isn't about control. It's about family legacy." I actually laughed. Legacy? By forcing me into surrogacy? My mother leaned forward. "We didn't want to do this, but you're leaving us no choice." That sentence hit differently. No choice. Like I was the one forcing them. That's when I saw it. The legal papers. Draft agreements. Medical consent forms. even clauses about compensation. They had planned everything without me. My voice shook. You can't be serious. My father's tone was cold now. You will sign. One way or another, silence.